right, good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, February 27th, 2024. Hope everybody's had a good weekend, a good start to the week. I wasn't able to do our broadcast yesterday, so let's go ahead and do a quick review of what happened there on Friday and what happened on Monday here. Now, in my opinion, Friday was a little bit of a difficult market. We did have clues for a pullback in the context of a strong market. But overall, for the first hour of the market, it just basically chopped around. We did get a nice parry right off VWAP there for we got about a 5.67 point bounce out of that. And then once price got down through VWAP, we came to the back end of it, and that began the flush lower to test into, notice the first bounce right off the Hopel, and then the second bounce right off the previous daily close there. And then we got a attempt to hold and bounce, and then again it went sideways all afternoon. So Friday really was a lackluster market in my opinion. Again, there were some okay opportunities if you were aggressive buying the bounce out of the open, or if you started to sell once we got through the VWAP here, you did have some opportunities. But then again, for the rest of the day, it just kind of meandered back and forth, didn't really do anything exciting. And that was how the week ended. So let's go ahead and scroll over to the Sunday Globex session. And notice, if you just kind of look at the general scheme of things, price could never get back through VWAP and the high of the day before high of the day before. So it got down through the high of the day before and through VWAP, and then just struggled to have the strength to go ahead and continue pushing to test into the highs of the morning there. And then we came into the Sunday Globex and we got a continuation lower. FYI, we were looking at a confluence of bearish signals up off the overnight highs going into Friday. When Friday put in its high up here at 51.23.5, we then got a daily and 4-hour bearish signal up there. So that's what happened with our signals. And then, as you can see, we got a push to lower lows for the day. And then we came into Sunday's Globex session and continued to kind of trend lower here. We got down through the previous daily low. Again, this was Sunday's Globex session coming into this week. You got a really nice little opportunity right off the 200 to the tick. How many times do we see this stuff happen? Right off, and then we got a decent flush. But as you can see, we've got a little bit of a recovery from that low coming into Monday, and then the market open here. Now on Monday, if I was here, I would have told you guys we now have an official bearish signal on the daily, an official 4-hour signal from this high. So we had two strong high time frame signals pointing for the bears. Of course, the question always is, how far are the bears going to get? So on Monday morning, I probably would have told you we got a decent little pullback. It's fairly shallow, but we got a little bit of a pullback. That might be all we get coming into Monday morning here. They might find support where we found support in the Globex, and then just start ripping higher again for all we know, right? Anything's possible. Even when we have signals that get a bit of follow through, doesn't mean we're guaranteed even stronger follow through to the downside in this case. But what we would have said, you guys know, we would have said 50% of the day before would have been a very critical point in the chart as our line in the sand for that bullish bearish perspective. And so in my opinion, Monday was actually a pretty easy day. If you saw the bearish signals from Friday's high, last week's high, and you saw we were down below 50% of the previous day, well, you did get some really great opportunities yesterday. Again, I wasn't here to give you that pre-market. However, if you've been here for a couple weeks, couple months, maybe longer than that, you should know kind of the general scheme of how we create our trade plans in the morning. And it would have been very clear that 50% of the previous day would have been that very first relevant level of potential resistance for this little bullish bounce coming into the beginning of the week. So what do you know? All Monday was just a stair step. It quite literally just stepped right down our roadmap levels, holding the 50% of the previous day, coming down, and we got a bounce from the previous daily low, but then held the back end of VWAP. Then we got down through, move that back there, got down through Hopel appreciably here. We came back and basically held it. Now we held the previous daily close to the tick there, just about 2 or 3 ticks in front of Hopel. And then we continued to stair step lower coming into the end of the day yesterday. So there were a lot of good opportunities to be a bear and to short some of these levels. I think this is probably one of the sexiest things to happen, was seeing the failure, seeing the double top from VWAP, and then getting an opportunity to come in and short the back end of the 200 here for a continuation lower. And if you did that, it never came back to test into that 200 level, which was basically Hopel, and you would have caught, what, just about a 10, 15, maybe 20 point push lower. So there were good opportunities. And that's what brought us here into the overnight session coming into this morning, where the bears continue to try to bring things lower. But as you can see in the overnight here, or just before the overnight session, the bears had trouble getting through the previous daily low. Again, trying to duck down through, hold below it. And now here we are in this attempt by the bulls to bring things back and retrace all the bearish price action from Monday. So this is where we stand right now. We are basically right up around 50% of yesterday's price action. And if you look, we've been starting, even though it was messy in this the beginning of the Globex session coming into Tuesday morning here, they did hold above VWAP on these 2 tests, and again above the Hopel here. The Hopel was on the chart when we pulled back at that point. And we are holding pretty nicely with basically a 1 tick less. So a 1.75 break, less than a 2-point break of VWAP and the Hopel here for a nice, 6, 7, 8 point bounce so far. So let's go ahead and jump up to the higher time frames and take a look at what the charts have to say coming into Tuesday here.